Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Governor gone activist. The governor of New York is now establishing himself as a homosexual activist on the national stage, calling boldly for every state in America to follow its example and legalize homosexuality. A dissenting Catholic, Governor Andrew Cuomo, spoke at a gala fundraising dinner for Empire State Pride Agenda, the state's largest same-sex activism group, demanding the repeal of the Defense of Marriage Act. He reiterated, quote, "Otherwise, no state really has marriage equality, and we will not rest until it is a reality," end quote. Some of the loudest applause of the evening was heard as Cuomo named the 4 Republican state senators who provided the critical votes to legalize same-sex unions in the state. Meanwhile, disordered transgender lifestyles are being nurtured in the young with gender-free scouting. The Girl Scouts are welcoming a young boy into their organization, saying it's okay because he's living like a girl. Bobby Montoya is a 7-year-old boy who has been allowed to dress up and act like a girl ever since he made the decision he wanted to be a girl at age 2 and was initially refused entrance into the Girl Scouts because he was a boy. Rachel Trujillo, Vice President of Communications for the Girl Scouts of Colorado, told Cybernet News Service, quote, "We make the distinction that if a child is living life as a girl and the family brings the child to us and says, 'My daughter wants to be a Girl Scout,' we welcome her," end quote. NBC News says Bobby's mother, Felicia Archuleta, refers to him as a he, but says she just lets him dress how he wants as long as he is happy. Embracing a cure. Changing from homosexual to heterosexual may not be easy, but newly completed research says it is definitely possible to successfully change one's sexual orientation. According to theblaze.com, the peer-reviewed study undertaken by various Christian ministries associated with Exodus International followed 61 subjects for a period of 6 or 7 years, finding that 23% of them were able to fully embrace functional attraction to the opposite sex. An additional 30% of those who took part were able to, quote, disidentify with same-sex attraction enough to embrace, quote, stable behavioral chastity, according to the Christian Examiner. This latest information is sure to spark debate regarding homosexuality, but conversion from the disorder of homosexuality is now definitely in the scientific arena. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
Satanic Murder. The victim of what appears to be a satanic human sacrifice in South Africa has passed away from her injuries after her attackers tied her up and set her on fire, putting her in a coma. TheBlaze.com reports 18-year-old Kirsty Teologo died from the 3rd and 4th degree burns on her upper body, which severely affected her lungs. You may remember her attack was reported early last week, taking place in Johannesburg, after which 2 young men turned themselves in and were charged with attempted murder. Since then, 2 more 18-year-old males were arrested, though now all 4 will face an upgraded charge of murder after Kirsty's death. Faithful succession. Royalty in the United Kingdom seems to be softening its prejudice against Catholics now that rules of succession to the English crown will be changed, allowing royalty to marry members of the one true faith. Fox News says the 16 Commonwealth countries under monarch Queen Elizabeth II also agreed that at the biannual summit in Perth, Australia, that males would no longer have precedence to the throne over females. British Prime Minister David Cameron is calling the customs outdated, telling reporters that the practices just don't make sense anymore. The complexity of changing the laws has held up the changes for decades, but New Zealand will soon chair a discussion on how to accomplish the reforms throughout the Commonwealth. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure to check out the Vortex today, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.